Let's change the world, 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 let's change the world. Let's just unite, let's stop the rapes and stop the fights and stop the murders in the world. Let's change the world, 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 let's change the world. Let's just unite, let's stop the rapes and stop the fights and stop the murders in the world. We gotta change the world. Some don't know the effects they have on others when everything that we do affects our younger brothers and sisters. To me it seems that the facts have missed us. Who will be there to reach down to hug and kiss us? Frankly, the current state that we're in needs to be discussed. Self-respect is a must. We need to tone down the lust, avoiding the fact that it provides a pleasant rush. But who in this world can you trust? The answer to that is yourself. Don't take what that man says off the bat. Pick that book up off the shelf. That don't mean not to trust. That means to take what he said, think about it, and then come back and discuss. Let's change the world, 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 let's change the world. Let's just unite, let's stop the rapes and stop the fights and stop the murders in the world. Let's change the world, 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 let's change the world. Let's just unite, let's stop the rapes and stop the fights and stop the murders in the world. We gotta change the world. Change up the world for the boys and the girls, because if we don't change it up, we're gonna make it in this world. We need to focus on the present and think less about the past, cause if we keep it up like this, then that's gonna be our fucking day. You gotta know just where you're coming from to get where you're going, so get on your search for knowledge, cause there's power in knowing. We need to pick up more books and read them cover to cover, and have you get the information, pass it to your brother, spread it to the whole world. If you know it ain't fake, you'll be surprised the difference in this world that one man can make. It's good and bad in everybody, but you gotta bounce it out. And if we all found that we change the world, no doubt. Let's change the world, 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 let's change the world. Let's just unite, let's stop the rapes and stop the fights and stop the murders in the world. Let's change the world, 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 let's change the world. Let's just unite, let's stop the rapes and stop the fights and stop the murders in the world. We gotta change the world.
Yeah, man. What's good, what's good, what's good, what's good? It's your big homie, Big Bad A, man, and this is the Real Talk, Real Shit podcast. Let's get it. Let's get it. I appreciate everybody for tapping in and tuning in, man. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a little chilly, but it's beautiful, man. Today is not tonight. I'm sorry. I'm always used to going on at nighttime. Today, I'm going to be talking about the entitlement. The entitlement of, we're too entitled. Modern people are way too entitled, y'all. And I was going to focus on Americans, but then I just thought about it. This is modern people problem. This isn't an American problem. This is a worldwide problem. A lot of people, some people say, better you like to talk about bull crap. Some people say I'm negative. Some people say this and that about me, but I'm going to explain something. If you keep living your life and you don't worry about nothing that's going on, you're going to keep bumping your head up against that brick wall. If you live your life and don't have an understanding of the life and the world that's around you, you're going to fail every time. Majority of the times you try to do something, because if you don't prepare, you will fail. Action without preparation, it almost every time leads to failure. You could keep trying to do stuff if you want, keep trying, but if you don't plan and strategize what you're doing, and if you don't have a reason for it, if you don't have a plan behind it, you might more than likely will fail in your plan. So The reason why I come on here and I talk about things that matter to life so much, it's not about negativity or positivity. What's good, Just in Time? The reason why I get on here and talk about things that matter to life so much is because how are we gonna change this? How are we gonna change ourselves? How are we gonna better ourselves if we don't deal with the issues in life? You know what I mean? So I want to be talking about entitlement because I was just sitting back and I was thinking like, motherfuckers be so entitled to everything. And then I kind of thought a little deep, but I'm gonna get into that in a second. Like, you ever noticed in America, because it's where I live, so I got to talk about where I'm at. You ever notice that people of America go somewhere and they be like, they feel they speak as if they have ownership over shit, over things. Like, you'll go to a restaurant and you'll say, yeah, I want to have a seat at my table. I want to get my menu and I want to order me some food, my food. I'm trying to order my meal. I'm trying to eat my meal. You know, we have this my, me mentality, when in actuality, in this world, you really don't own nothing. In actuality, in this world, you really don't have ownership over many things. The only thing that you actually have in this world is something that you can create. If you didn't create it, you don't own it. Let me say that again. If you didn't create, the only thing you can have in this world that's yours is something that you created. And then that's it. If you didn't make it, it's really not yours. So if you go out to a restaurant and you go order a meal, because it's not your meal until it's placed in front of you. It's not your food until you pay for it, until you eat it, until you put it inside yourself. So the whole time you're at the restaurant about to order a meal, your whole mentality, most people's whole mentality is, yeah, I'm gonna go to a restaurant and I'm gonna get I'm gonna sit down at my table and I'm gonna eat my meal. And I'm gonna enjoy myself or us, the group. That's an entitlement perspective. That's why that reason right there, that entitlement, the sheer entitlement of us is the reason why we're about to get replaced. Now, the reason I'm not mad at us for the entitlement, because the entitlement was given to us. We were given this false sense of entitlement to feel like we had ownership and feel like an importance level. Like, when you go to a car dealership, they say, come on, let's go look for you a car, this and that. And you go pay for the car. If you don't pay, let me explain something. If you don't buy the car and pay for the car, matter of fact, fuck that. Even if you buy the car and pay it all the way off and you own it, you still have to pay taxes on it. So that car initially, essentially, is still never yours all the way. And then after you pay for your taxes, you pay registration fees, you pay this, you pay that, you pay to drive on the road, you pay taxes and fees to be able to drive on these roads. So it's a permission slip. Your driver's license is a permission slip for you to be able to drive the vehicle that you think you own. You know, it's really messed up. It's a false sense of ownership that's been given to us to give us a sense of importance that we really don't have. You go buy a house, then, and you settle on your house, and you go, unless you own it or unless you built it, right? Even if you built it, even if you built it and paid for it, that's a big hawk. Even if you built it and paid for it, you still have to pay taxes and fees for the house. So what I'm trying to tell you is, in this world, unless you build it, and in most places of this world don't allow you just to build things without regulations and rules and limitations. So unless you built it in this world, it's not yours and you do not own it. Even a pair of shoes, right? You might think you bought a pair of shoes and you own them, but they made those same shoes. They made 1 million pairs of those same shoes for anybody else to go purchase. So there's no individualism in it. It's a collective thing. And it's only the false sense of It's only the false sense of ownership so you to feel important. And then that whole system that's been created, like you buying something to feel a sense of importance or a sense of purpose, that whole system has been set up so you can just slave hard, work hard for some money, take that money because you don't have any sense of purpose or importance. So you take that money and you go purchase something so you can feel a sense of importance or to fill a void from the lifestyle that we've been living, because really there's no purpose to this shit. The working lifestyle and the in and out day-to-day life, there's no purpose to this shit. So you go out and you purchase something with your money that you worked for, and then once you purchase something, it gives you a false sense of ownership, a false sense of purpose, a false sense of happiness, and essentially a false sense of entitlement. Because you get to the point where you work, okay, say like your phone, like you buy a phone, right? You might have paid for the phone, right? And you feel entitled and you feel a sense of ownership to this phone because you paid $1,000 for this phone, right? But what do you have to pay every month to use the phone? You have to pay a monthly fee. You have to pay a tax every month in order to use the phone. So you don't own the phone. If your phone gets cut off, you have a shell and a camera and a digital device that only you could calculate and push some numbers on, and that's it. You don't have a phone. It's a false sense of entitlement. It's a false sense of ownership. This is what they sold us. See, y'all have to understand the reason for all this shit. Even a video game. With video games now, right? I got to break this shit all the way down. With video games now, you used to could go back in the days and buy a video game and buy the console, and then you buy the software. The hardware would be the system and the software would be the game. You go buy your software, which would be the disc, the cartridge, the chip, whatever it is, right? And now, because of the Agenda 2030, and a lot of y'all might not understand this, but because of the Agenda 2030, look that up on your own time. They're saying in the future, you will own nothing and be happy. What kind of game consoles do they have available for us right now? What are they doing with almost game consoles? Digital download. So you're digitally downloading some software, right? This is how you've been tricked into owning nothing and being happy. This is one of the ways you've been tricked into owning nothing and being happy. You might have a digital PlayStation 5, right? The one with the and the Xbox did this shit too. This is how you know they're all part of it. Everybody's in on this shit. Listen, they made these consoles where it doesn't have a disk drive and it's all digital download, right? You might say, that's cool, man. I could download all my games and put it on the hard drive and just turn it on and play. That's cool. But guess what? Look around you. Look around your PlayStation 5. Do you see any games sitting there? Do you see any games sitting there? And let me explain something to you. If your PlayStation 5, if you don't pay your fees and your service fees, aka your taxes, aka your monthly online fee, your monthly online membership fee, you will not be able to play none of your games you got. So your dumbass essentially downloaded 50 to 20 to 30 games on the you downloaded essentially 50 to 20 to 30 games on your hard drive, but 1 month you fall on hard times because you got to pay your rent before you do anything else. You pay your rent, you pay your lights, and then you don't have the internet money. So now for that month, you can't play the video game because your system is a digital online only system. So that means you can only stream it online. You see how that's one way that you've been tricked into a false sense of entitlement, a false sense of ownership, but really you own nothing. And see, what you're not thinking about now is the energy crises that we're coming into. What you're not thinking about now is the internet shortage, the internet outages that we're coming into. See, the people like me who have discs and games and cartridges and movies and tapes and this and that, when shit goes out, all I need is a little bit of electricity and I could play any game I got. I could play any, I don't even really buy a lot of online only video games because let me say something. I love Fortnite. I love Fortnite. It's one of my favorite games. But guess what? It's an online only video game, right? You can only play it online. And let me explain something and let me keep it real with y'all. Let me keep it real with y'all. I fell on hard times before where I couldn't pay my internet bill. It's not nothing to be ashamed about because America's a system that if you can't keep up with, you get bumped out of. That doesn't make you a bad person if you fall on hard times or go through a moment of financial instability. That doesn't make you a less of a person if you're not rich, because everybody's not supposed to be rich. There's only 10% of the Americans in society that make $100,000 a year or more. 10 percenters. And the 3%, the 2%ers, that's why they call them the 2%ers and the 1%ers. There's only 2% of people making $1 million or more a year. So what y'all, the fantasy, the fantasy of false rich people and the fantasy of people being rich is another sense of entitlement that Americans think they're entitled to. How many women in America say they want a man who's 6 feet tall and rich? How many? How many women in America want a man who's tall, dark, handsome, and rich and well endowed? Most of them, right? Right? That's a false sense of entitlement. Most women, look at yourself in the mirror. You might not deserve a tall, dark, handsome, rich man. You only deserve what you're qualified for. When you go to a car dealership, you don't walk outside the car dealership with a fucking Bentley if you got a 400 credit score. So how you think you're gonna get a Bentley of a man, the 6'4", tall, dark, and handsome man with a bunch of money? You don't qualify for him. This is the false entitlement of our people. Our women are so entitled just because they have money, right? This is how fucked up it is, man. And they make it look bad. American entitled women make it look bad for American women all around the world. Because the ones who got the money, right? Let me break it down to y'all. Majority of people who have money, they're living an excess lifestyle, right? Right? When you live in an excess lifestyle, you're eating an excess amount of food, you're going to excess amount of places, and you're overexposed to most shit. So these be the fat people. Let's just keep it 100. If you're making $100,000 a year or more, your ass is going out to eat all the time. If you're making over $100,000 a year or more, your ass is doing the most. You're out clubbing, hookah lounging, and all that shit. So these be the fat, busted, entitled women of the world, of America. What they do, and this is sad because there are some beautiful ones who do go around and travel, but I'm gonna be real. The beautiful women of the world don't just go traveling in groups like the fat, entitled ones do. You like when you see a girl's outing, when you see the girls going out, it don't be a bunch of hot, sexy women. It's the big, busted, entitled women or the skinny, scrawny, scarecrow women who need attention and they need a man. So they all go out as groups to try to get what they need in society. This is what that is. Hey, man, go in the house. Bro. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm not talking shit. I'm not. I'm being real. The entitled, busted women of America go around who, because they got money in excess, and they go around the world and they portray that shit into the world. And now people don't really want to see that shit. Don't nobody want no excess busted woman, man. Don't nobody want it. If they wanted you, if somebody wanted you, you'd be had here in America. You got to fix yourself if you want. You got to fix yourself if you want to be qualified for something. Everybody's so entitled, they feel like they owed a man, they owed a woman. You ain't owed shit. Nothing is yours. Even if you get a woman, right? This is me as a man speaking. Even if you get a woman, you got to maintain her and you got to take care of her and you got to constantly maintain her. Nobody's owed a woman. You're not owed a mate. You're not that entitled. You're not that special. I'm telling you, you're not that special. You have to make yourself special if you want what you want out of life. This is the problem with everybody. They feel like they're deserved and entitled to a specific position. You're not. You're not, my nigga. Like, you're not even entitled to a job unless you put in some work at the job. It's not my job. It's not your job. It's not. It's your moment at the job. Because it was not your company. You didn't create the company. So you're only there because you're providing a service for the company at the moment. It's not your job. Your life is your life. A job is not your job. The school is not your school. It's just a place you went and learned from. It's not your nothing. You didn't develop the institution. We have this false sense of entitlement and false sense of ownership when we don't own shit, except for what you create. So you better get to creating something, because that's the only thing you can own on this world. And I promise you that. It ain't even, when you die, let me tell you why you don't own shit. When you die, if you had $1 million in your bank account, if you don't have a will wrote, if you don't have a will wrote out, when you die, everything you take will get taken by the bank. Everything you have will be thrown on the side of the road out of your house. Everything. All your records will get thrown in the dump somewhere. That's how much they think about you, my nigga. You have to make your own life matter. You have to set up your own contingency plans. You have to set up your own exit plans for life. You have to set that shit up. Because they got a hole for you and a fucking oven to burn you in when you're gone. And they'll keep it moving and won't think nothing else about you. You get what I'm saying? The only people who gonna care about you when you're gone is your kids and your family. That's it. And your close friends. That's it. Life goes on, my nigga. If you want your life to be meaningful, you have to make it meaningful. If you want your life to have purpose, you have to live life with purpose. You don't own nothing in this world just about. There's not much you own. You can't take nothing with you in this world but your soul. That's it. So why not treat your soul right? Why not treat your body right? The body is the house of the soul. Why not treat it right? Get what I'm saying? We worry about bullshit materials that we can't take with us. We're worried about going on vacations and going to other countries and living life where you're supposed to be living life in your environment. People spend thousands of dollars on vacations, right? People spend thousands of dollars on vacations when they can make a difference and a life change in their environment with that same money, or they can just endure for longer. Because life is about resilience, endurance, preservation, and consistency. Life, if you want to have a good long life, you got to endure and be consistent. This life ain't about having fun. This life is about living. You have fun while you're living. I have fun while I'm talking to my children. I have fun when I'm talking to my family. I have fun being a man, having a woman. I have fun living life, but I ain't got to damn do no external false sense of entitlement bullshit. See, people like to go places and feel like they're special in royalty. People like to go places and get treated like specialty and royalty, but they have not earned the royalty position. That's the thing. You have not put in the work to be royalty, but you want to go to other countries and like, it's like, say if I take a bunch of money in Africa right now, if I take like 50,000 in Africa right now, I'd be rich in certain parts. And they treat me, the money would carry me as far as the money could carry me. You get what I'm saying? Because this world's about fake money entitlement. I just wish we could go back to being good humans again, man, where people started caring about the interaction with each other and started caring about the lifestyle, caring about the family, caring about the generation. Now we care about the individual, not even realizing the individual is over that quick. We get about 50, 60, 70 years on this planet. I'm already at level 38. You get what I'm saying? But I can go way farther. I'm going probably like 90, 100. I'm trying to get 90, 100. But I'm gonna tell you something. It don't matter how long I live. Every day and every chance I get to live, I'm gonna teach and I'm gonna preach and I'm gonna show the way and I'm gonna do my thing every day I get to live. I ain't waiting and hesitating. I don't feel no false bullshit. I'm just enjoying my moments, enjoying my meals, enjoying my time on this God's green earth, our time, because it's our time. Everybody worry about history, the past, the this or that. We need to be living life because our actions of today are shaping the future of tomorrow. Our actions of today is shaping the future of tomorrow. Oh God. Everything we do today is affecting our tomorrow. Everything. I just wanted to say thank y'all, man. I just wanted to come on here and just get that off because I just be watching videos and looking at people and they feel so entitled to everything that they didn't work for. They feel so entitled for everything that you have, that I have, that we have. And it's really fucked up. You know, it's really messed up that like you see women who say a dude got to pay them $1,000 to talk to them in a DM and shit. Like that's the craziest sense of entitlement. How you gonna put a money value on a text message? Cause you know why? Some niggas are so fucked up in that system, they live in that shit and paying that shit, you know, and living like that. So I just pray for all of us, man. But at the end of the day, it's like I understand now why they're bringing in a new batch of people, because the new batch of migrants that they're bringing in, they not entitled. They not what you call it? They don't feel like they owed something. See, we over here, us batch, we the freest batch of slaves that there's ever been. And they gave us this false sense of entitlement freedom, this purchase freedom, where you can just buy stuff in the marketplace. We got this false freedom where you could just buy stuff in the marketplace and make you feel important. Because I'm gonna tell you something, it's so messed up sometimes. Like I be chilling, we be just living life, got everything in the world, And my daughter, that she'll be like, oh, I want to go to the store and buy something. And we'll go to the store and there's nothing there because we got everything. So it's nothing there for so they feel like, let me just grab anything. Let me just grab this. Let me grab that. And they get to the point where it's just the rush of purchasing something. I realized that. It's just that. My bad. Look, it just be that rush it just be that rush of people buying something nowadays. People is addicted to that shit. You know, so we just got to do better, man. I'm just trying my best to inspire who I can. I love y'all. Appreciate whoever stayed on just the time. SS, my people. I fuck with y'all the strong way, man. Everybody else, man, talk it, but they don't walk it, man. It's your big home, big bad. This is the Real Talk, Real Shit podcast, man. One of the realest and only places online where you're going to get some real information. These other niggas be capping and rapping, man. It's your big baddie, man. I'm trying to make something happen, man. It's your big baddie. Let's do it. On God. Thank you, SS. I'll holler at you later, sweetheart. Have a wonderful day, SS. I hope you have a wonderful day and be safe out there. And hopefully everything that God has for you will be for you. You know what I mean? Let's do it. Let's do it.